Michael, this is pretty exciting, man, for Final Fantasy fans. It's Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 will release on wide range of platforms. Everywhere we're going. Sam Seppiol over at Insider Gaming. The developers of Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 recently stated that the upcoming Square Enix games will be released on various platforms. This was via IGN. Spotted that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth producer Yoshinori Katiz and director Naoki Hamaguchi recently spoke about Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3's platform exclusively plans during an interview with 4Gamer. They were asked whether players should be concerned about Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 releasing exclusively for the PS6, as Part 1 was part of a PS4 and Part 2 was for PS5. Katiz confirmed that players can rest assured about the next one. Amagachi chimed in, stating that all future games from Square Enix should be released on a wide range of platforms, as it allows more players to play their games. However, it will not be able to promise anything to the players at the moment, but will try his best to make their games more accessible. Genki believes that Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 might be a PlayStation exclusive, as Square Enix might have signed some sort of contract with Sony. The game could be released day one on PS5 and PC, and if it releases alongside PS6, it might arrive as a cross-gen game. Speculations have been made. Michael, I like the idea, dude, that they're finally branching away. If we're going to make it multi-platform, let's go PlayStation, Xbox, PC, day one.
Yeah, I mean, it makes all the sense for Square Enix, right? Also, you kind of got that hint, all future Square Enix games, which big thing, right? Because it means more Final Fantasy games down the line. Yeah, that Final Fantasy is one of those titles I think that really would help Xbox out if it. I mean, it's, eventually we're supposed to get a couple of the old ones. Haven't quite gotten a release date on those yet. Sometime this year. But yeah, I mean, even if you can get that 6-month deal, right? That a lot like we saw with Indiana Jones, right? Hey, it's going to come out on PlayStation. 6 months later, you're going to be able to get it on an Xbox, right? Because right now it's been absolutely nothing. So this would be massive. I would be curious if it goes for Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3. I could see a world where it comes out, hey, Square Enix signed an exclusive contract with Sony for this. But then any future Final Fantasy game, there's no contract, and Square Enix says, look, we're going to do both. So I think this is honestly them kind of opening up and admitting maybe the exclusive contract was a mistake. We're going to do our best. Maybe it won't be with Final Fantasy Remake Part 3, but this feels like all future Final Fantasy games are definitely going to be on their way to Xbox sooner rather than later, which is an Xbox fan I can appreciate. Because it's one of those franchises, Drew, I've just never got the chance to play because it's always been on PlayStation.
Dude, I'm telling you, you should have picked up a PlayStation. But I agree. I think Sony's already locked in on the remake of Final Fantasy VII. So I don't expect to see Part 3 day and date everywhere. I think there's a day and date to PlayStation, PC, but not to Xbox, right? Like that's the sticking point right there. Have to keep it off of Xbox 6 months to a year and then port it over eventually. So I think, in the end of it all, Xbox fans will get Final Fantasy VII Part 3 remake there, but it's going to take some time to get it. And then moving forward, Square's always in one of those, our game didn't make expectations. Well, because you locked it to one console. Granted, you picked the better console just because there's a bigger install, right? However, you've limited yourself because you didn't put yourself on Steam. You didn't put yourself on Xbox. You just pigeonholed yourself into the PlayStation ecosystem. Smart move by PlayStation. Here's what I'll say, right? That's the pickup of PlayStation. That's what PlayStation does. They come in, they swoop in, they grab third-party titles, and they make them exclusive for PlayStation for a time period. How long that goes, every contract's different, man. It could be 3 months, 6 months, a year, who knows, indefinitely, right? You just never quite know what the paperwork signs. However, if you're Square Enix, a third-party company, dude, it makes total sense to put your game day and date everywhere. Let everybody have a piece of that pie to be able to talk about it, right? You're not a first-party studio, so it doesn't make any sense, but PlayStation has deep pockets, and sometimes that's where it all makes sense.